What's up, friends and family of YouTube? Well, I hope you all having a good day. So this video is a little bit on different kinds of karting motors. So, some people ask me, what do you think, Pascal? What else should I do? What should I put on my kart? Well, here's the thing. As you get older and as you get more experience, most people, and I say most people, they always want to go faster. Well, that really depends on where you're at, what you're doing, how heavy your cart is, what size tires you got, what your driving experience is. I mean, there's a lot of things that go along with that. Some people are just happy with a simple motor. Some people, they like changing shirts and socks, They're always changing out. They're always wanting to build different things and more power, more speed, more power. Well, with that comes expense. And let me explain. So, in front of us, we have three motors. Well, there'll be four, but there's three motors here, right? So this one here is a Predator 212, non-Hemi, no governor. It has a 230 cam in it, a base carburetor, but it has a stage 1, so it has the air cleaner, right? And it'll have the pipe's just universal. High output plug. It has an upgraded race coil in it, right? Just a regular flywheel. Okay. Next, we have a brand spanking new, never been ran, Dakar race motor. This is an actual racing motor. Okay. This is designed by, oh God, slips my mind. Oh God. Wouldn't you know it? I can't ever remember. As many of their cams as I bought, you think that I can remember. Oh, yeah. Dyno Cams. So Dyno Cams designed this motor and had Dakar build this motor. This is a Hemi motor. Okay? So it's a little bit different than most motors. Okay? It does have a reinforced block. I mean, it's actually set up. It has not been modified for racing. Out of the box, without messing around with the governor or anything like that, they do about 5,600 RPMs. Okay? This is a race motor. It doesn't come like this. I put this on, and I put this on. That's it. That's all I did. Okay? That's a Hemi motor. Hemi means the valves come on an angle when they're firing to the piston. So the intake is on an angle and the exhaust is on an angle. Dakar runs something a little strange compared to the same motor, which Dakar makes the blocks for the Hemi Predators. Although they make motors for Hemis, or for the Predator. Some of them, not all of them. And they also make them for, Dakar makes the blocks for Tillotson. So that's why when you look at certain blocks, you'll see the similarities. Well, that's why. Because you'll see the Tillotsons and the Dakar. They are pretty much the same block when it comes to this configuration. And you'll see on the front of them, if I can turn it around here, you'll see right here on the sticker that it's designed by Dyno Cams, and this is a race car engine. Okay? And if you look here, it says DH212, okay, on the block. So if you ever pick up a block and you're not understanding what it is, if it says DH212, that's a Dakar racing block. Okay, you can see that it's reinforced here, all up through here, and then has a reinforcement here. They call them bulletproof. They race them. I've seen guys race the same motor for 4 years. The only thing they do is put a set of rings in it. That's it. I mean, they're good motors, but you're going to pay for them. So a setup like I have it right there is about 440 bucks, somewhere around there. But it's ready to go. You don't have to mess around with it. This one here has a flywheel on it that was designed by the German engineering. And it's been tested for 17,000 RPM. So you don't have to worry about the flywheel on that. On this, you do. So if you're going to race a motor like this, one of the things they tell you is you should at least have your flywheel and you should at least have a rod in it. Okay? A billet rod and a billet flywheel. This over here is, I don't know if you guys ever heard of this, but they have a LO206 class. This is an LO206 class block. Okay? That's Briggs & Stratton. They run these in karting. So they have the L206 class, they have a Dakar class, and they have a Predator class. Now, then they have the modified classes of these motors. Okay? So these are 3 different types of motors, 3 different types of blocks, 3 types of configurations, right? Along with this, some people run the flat tops, but as you're racing, if you're getting into racing, remember there's different rules for different tracks for different areas. In the Northeast, there's all kinds of them. You know, some people say that you can tie back the governor. So you can zip strip the governor, but you can't do anything else. Or you can disconnect the oil pressure or the oil sensor, but you can't cut it off. But you can disconnect it and, you know, tie it up. Okay? You can't change the carburetor, but you can change the jetting. There's certain things that certain tracks, you know, they'll allow you to do, and other tracks will not allow you to do. You know, some of them says you can pull the governor out. Some of them says you can't touch the governor. Some of them say you can change the carburetor. Some of them say you can't change the carburetor, but you can change the jetting. Some say you got to run the regular exhaust that comes on the motor. Some said that you can run a straight pipe. You know, so it really has to do with the track and what their rules are, or what division that you're running in, what class division you're running your kart in. I don't know this because I race karts. I know this because I know kart races. I've done my homework, you know, and I in order to understand motors, you have to understand the full spectrum of what they do, what they're built for, how they're modified. You know, you have to really check them out. And then you have another level of motors, which is this motor that I built. Now, this is a fully built motor. The only thing that I could really do is if I wanted to, I could put a big bore head on it, you know, but there's really not a necessity for that. This thing will flat get it. I am telling you, it will unleash the beast. Okay? Has a problem with the carburetor still, but, you know, when you punch it, man, she comes to life, right? Like right now, and she just keeps climbing. So, for what I do with this car on my property, this is more than enough. Okay? More than enough, because when you're working on dirt, right? When you're riding on dirt, and you got all kinds of corners and bumps and stuff, it's a whole different beast, okay? This ain't like a level, you know, gravel track or a matted down dirt track that's level. This is like, you know, I have a 4-point harness in it too, but I'm not done. I'm going to put drop downs on it, but curtains. But I mean, it's a whole different experience. It's a whole different driving experience. It's a whole different way to set up your tires. I mean, everything is so much different. Your tire pressure is different. I mean, it's complicated because you're going rights and lefts and over turns and banks. And so the car is set up much differently when you're doing this kind of stuff, you know. Is it any less fun than anything else? No, because you got to be skilled in many different things, many different angles. You're throwing your weight differently, right? You're running different types of air pressure in your tires. And the weather affects it. I mean, there's so many variations when you're doing off-road karting like this. And most of the people will tell you that own one of these karts, right? Now, this is a modified dingo. Okay, I've modified everything. Because when you've owned a dingo long enough, you learn there's certain things that you reinforce on it, okay? You just do it. Or you're going to get the shake, rattle, and roll. So, and that's just how it goes. Look, I know that anybody who owns a dingo knows exactly what I'm talking about. Bolts come loose, shake, rattle, and roll. But they can handle it. Look, they're a great platform. And they're sought after all the time. But this motor, you know, I mean, it's a different beast. You know, I have a pulse pump on it. You know, I mean, the whole works. I mean, some people, they go all fancy and shiny. Look, shiny heinies doesn't never put any money in the bank. That's what I say, you know. It really has to do with what you put into the motor. It doesn't have to look pretty. You dress it up a little bit to make yourself feel better, which I did a little bit. You know, I did something that nobody's done. I haven't seen anybody done. I put these wings. These are valve cover wings from 350 Chevy. That's what they're for. And I put these on here. I thought it looked pretty cool. Is it going to make it go any faster? No. Another thing, your torque converter. Your torque converter can also help with power and speed. Another thing, back here, your rear gear here can change how much torque you have or how much speed. And of course, your sprocket down below on your axle. So all of these things, guys, can change your speed and can change your torque. And of course, how your motor's built. But, you know, I've seen guys, you know, running 45 miles an hour with some of these race engines like this one. Like this car. And they're known for it. But a lot of it, you know, unless there's restriction on what you can run for gearing, you know, you might get more speed, but the problem is there's a fine line, and karters will tell you that. There's a fine line between power and speed, because when you're on a track and it takes a while for you to get up to speed and somebody bumps you, man, you're going to lose 5-10 spots, and now it's going to take you a while to get back up there. So everything that you've achieved and earned, you lost in the matter of a split second. So there's many different things that contribute to how fast you go and how well you'll do when you're racing. But out back, any of these motors would be good for, you know, a car out back. I guess I pretty much answered the question. I mean, these are all, you know, pretty much the 212 series is what I call them. You really don't, you know, everybody's different. Everybody, you know, some people always tell you, you're always going to want to go up. You're always going to want to build it. Well, here's the thing. Pick a platform that you can afford. You know, a basic Predator 212 now is what? I think $159. And sometimes you can get them on special for like $119. And really, really special for, you know, $100 plus tax. Okay? That's a Predator 212 Hemi, non-Hemi, if you're lucky. Because everybody sorts after the Hemi. I don't think, personally, there's that big a difference. And if you're into Predators, you know, it's just I don't know. It's like anything in life. If I like chocolate and you like vanilla ice cream, you know, we could argue what's the best, but in the end, it really has to do with your taste. And that's what it comes down to. Because whether it's a Hemi or a non-Hemi, you can build them to perform. Okay? Where some of the differences come in the blocks, reinforcement of the blocks, like the Ducar or the Tillerson, which I don't have a Tillerson here, but You can put them side by side, and there's very little differences in them. Very little. But of course, the car makes their box. So, there you go. People say, oh, who's the car? Look them up online sometime. The car makes a lot of different motors for a lot of different people. They make generator motors. They're a very, very big company, okay? And they make quality stuff. So, if you want a good motor, they're a really good motor. Of course, you can always get a lemon. You can get a lemon with anything. But, Carters will tell you that run them. They're pretty good motors. L206, Briggs & Stratton. Hey, they've been around racing for a long time in karting. People love them. People hate them. People love and hate them. So really, it has to do with your taste. Now, there's another one. I'll take you back here. Then you have these. That orange one back there is a Husqvarna. The Husqvarna motor, I was looking at it one day and I was miking it, right? And it mics up almost exact as this L206, which was kind of funny. And it's a really good motor. I own 3 of them, the Husqvarna motors. They seem very similar to the L206 motor, and they're pretty good. I got a really good deal from a guy online. Had a bunch of them. As a matter of fact, this carburetor is off of one of them. And the reason why I took this carburetor off and put it on this block was because it's easy to click the choke on and off when you're running a air cleaner like this, instead of having to put the little thing down there and a little thing here and all that. I like this. It's easier to control. And if you was on the side of a car, it would be easier to control it too. And this is a primer, so you can prime it. None of these other ones have primers, but this carburetor you can prime, so that's why that's on there. So I hope some of this information was helpful. If you're just starting off karting, look, go slow. Take it easy. Look, you can spend as much money karting as you can running strictly stock, late model, super stock, mini stock, super late model, wind sprints, World Outlaw, NASCAR. You can spend that level of money. Some motors, when you get into some of the 2-stroke motors, because these are all 4-stroke, when you get into, some of them cost $7,000. They come with a kit, $7,000. You slap it on there. But the problem here is this. Here's my thing with 2-strokes versus 4-strokes. 4-strokes give you less hassle. Look, I ain't gonna lie. 2-strokes are snappy. It's like there's only 2 strokes to the ignition, right? But here's the problem. You got to mix the oil, right? If you're racing them about every 10 to 12 hours, you're going to have to pull them apart. Put a new set of rings in. Check everything over. Then you got all of your exhaust components and all of that stuff that you're going to have to take apart. Check it out. Clean it, because now you have oil residue. And you're going to have all kinds of soot and buildup. That's why you'll see a lot of the motorcyclists, you don't see a whole lot of 2-strokers out there. 2 cycles. You'll see mostly the 4-stroke, because it's less hassle. They're more durable. There's less problems with them. There's no mixing of the fuel, right? So, if you're wondering, well, yeah, 2 strokes are snappy. But I'm telling you right now, you can build a 4-stroke to do the same thing. So, when you're first starting out, have fun. Buy a basic motor. Learn the motor. Learn about the motor at a basic level, Get yourself something. Run it. Feel it. And then, as you get a little bit more money, you put the important things into it. And I would tell you, a flywheel. Flywheel is important. It's an expensive component. Costs you anywhere from, I don't know, probably $60 all the way. Sky's the limit. You know, they can cost you $200 or $300 depending on what you're going to run. And a rod. Those two things are really important. Get them out of the way because they're the most expensive stuff, right? And then build the other parts of it, you know? Get an upgraded carburetor. You know, go with a Mikuni. You know, you could start off with a 22 millimeter Mikuni or an off-brand if you want, you know? A clone to the Mikuni. And then, you know, work on your valves, you know? And, you know, a set of springs, you know? I mean, if you're just going to go basic, you know, that's what you do. Take your time and diddle with it. But don't come right out, oh, I got to be the best and I got to be the fastest and look at me, look at me. Because let me tell you guys, it gets expensive. And then the thing about any kind of karting is not just the expense, but if you don't know how to do your own work and you don't know how to labor on these things, you know, you don't know how to hone things out, or you don't have a friend that can bore a block, or, you know, you don't know how to neural guides, or, you know, I mean, you know, cut seats and lap in valves and, you know, put a 3-angle on a valve, all those things. If you don't know how to do all those things and you don't have a shop to do all those things, they're going to cost you exponential amounts of money. And if there's nobody locally to do it, you got to send it out. That's a cost in shipping to send it there and get it. I mean, look, I'm telling you, start slow, start small, you know, and learn your motor, you know, whatever platform you're going to go. And maybe one motor don't do it for you and you try a different motor, you know. People love the Dakar on backwoods carts, you know, backyard carts. They love the Tillisons. The 212R is a good motor. Right out of the box, it's a pretty good platform. Everything has its pros and cons. So, you know, have fun. Enjoy it. Life's short. You know, enjoy karting, you know, and enjoy the people that you're with. Okay? Well, take care. God bless. This is Pastor Bob, and I'm out of here. We'll see you now.